Libra IRC Collections 4. Another day of chat room fun. It's a Saturday, so I guess I'm allowed to do nothing today. I should probably clean my house, but really, when you live alone, there's no need to clean your house unless someone comes over and you frantically clean your house before they do. Now, what about IRC? It attracts so many different types of people. Skinny people, fat people, ugly people, pretty people. All kinds of different people. But why? What brings them to come to Libra IRC in particular and talk to each other? Is it loneliness? Is it desperation? Is it boredom? Is it to troll people? What about trolls? Let's talk about trolls. What is trolling? What is this troll phenomena? Has there always been trolls? I wasn't on IRC in 1998. I don't know if there was trolls back then. I don't know. Maybe there was. You'd have to ask the older generations. But what is a troll? Some people have said it's a person that tries to evoke an emotional response by insulting and harassing someone. But if you think about what a troll is, it's like a persona. Like, let's say you're a troll. If you wanted to troll someone, what would you do? You would come online under a new IP, a new nickname, so no one knows who you are. You think, anyway. So you're anonymous. So you got this persona. You might call yourself, I don't know, Killer. So you call yourself Killer, and that's your trolling nickname, and you're called Killer. And you come on a Libra IRC, and you're Killer. So already you're evoking a bit of an emotional response with that name because you're a killer. And then you might have someone you don't like in the chat room that you want to troll. And so you go up to Cecilia because you don't like Cecilia because she bans you all the time. So you want to troll Cecilia. And you're like, Cecilia, I heard that you have hairy nipples. And you just, go on and on about her hairy nipples for the next 30 minutes until she bans you. Well, she'll probably ban you in 5 seconds, but I mean, that's like the basic way of trolling, is just to kind of harass people, just to kind of give them shit, and maybe use information that they've said against them and kind of stir them up and get them to crack and start having a fit and make them cry and make them run away. It's not like kind of very intelligent trolling as such, but there are different forms of trolling. There are many different types of trolls. There's not just that basic kind of beta male, I'm going to insult people kind of troll. I am hot shit and I'm going to give people shit and I'm going to troll them and make them upset. I mean, that's pretty basic kind of teenage trolling. I mean, there's 30 and 40-year-olds that do it. It's not just like teenage boys doing this shit. So you have that basic kind of lower rung troll activity on chat rooms where it's just insults and harassment. Some trolls are kind of a bit better at computers, so they use bots and they flood and they kind of do that kind of thing as well. But generally that's just like a slightly more computer competent trolling. But they don't really have any real creativity as such. It's just like flooding "you are gay" over and over and over or something. And that's about it. There's other forms of trolling which are a little bit more serious, when they kind of involve stalking and manipulation under different nicknames, so the person might not know who they're talking to at what time. So there might be one guy or one girl with two different IPs, two different nicknames talking to the same person to get information out of them to kind of ruin their chat friendships perhaps, or to get out a dirty story, or to kind of make their life hard for them, or worse stuff, but we won't go into that. But there is this other type of trolling which I've done a little bit, and other people do too, is where you create a persona, and you're not trolling people to harm them, or to insult them, or to get information, or to make people's lives worse. You're like a troll comedian. You're like a troll kind of storyteller. You're like a troll that is creative. And this is probably the more interesting type of trolling there is. Like, you could call yourself Killer and then talk about how you're a serial killer. Like, just go on and on about it all the time. Every time you're online, you're just talking about how many people you killed, for instance. Yeah, it's pretty horrible, but, you can do it in a funny way, perhaps, but, you are putting on a persona. You are not actually a serial killer, but you're pretending to be one. That's where the trolling is. And the trolling is, if you're good enough at it, you can evoke that emotional response. You can get people stirred up and kind of believing you that you are actually killing people. That's the kind of trolling that's a bit more kind of, it's like acting. It's like, I'm trolling you to believe something that isn't even true. Sometimes, maybe the interesting fact could be that you're trying to make a point. So you're trolling for a good purpose to make, well, not good purpose, but trolling to make a point about something. Not just trolling just to make people feel like shit, but you're trying to tell a story or to get an ideology kind of known by people. So you have these creative trolls, and they're kind of few and far between. Like, people call people trolls all the time, but they're really kind of missing the point of what a troll is half the time. And then just anyone gets called a troll that insults anyone, you're a troll. You insulted me, you're a troll. It's not actually true. They're just a dickhead that's insulting you. They're not actually a troll. They don't have any trolling skills whatsoever. They're just a dickhead that can change IP. But real creative trolling's like acting. It's like being an actress or being an actor. And you're presenting yourself as a different person, as a story or a ideology that is maybe not even yourself, to make a point. Like, you could be trolling about kind of like a religion, or you could be trolling that you are a woman when you're a man. That's a form of trolling. It's like a disguise. It's like, I'm a pretty girl, and you call yourself a pretty girl, and then you pretend to be a girl, and you're being a comedian. You're just taking the piss. It's not very intelligent trolling, but it's funny, because people that realise who you are might be laughing their heads off, going, oh, I can't believe these guys are falling for this. My friend pretty girl here is just trolling the shit out of people. They all want to have sex with him, and he's a guy. That's a simple form of trolling. It's just a different persona that's trying to evoke a response. Usually because people are bored. There's nothing like amazing about it necessarily, unless you're doing some very interesting trolling that kind of kept people entertained for hours. But most people can't do that. It's just like, can you troll people to kind of get information into the world? Can you troll people for the good of the world? Can you troll people to make an impact in the chat room that's not just negative, that you're actually going to make laughter or information or interest, or start a conversation, or something more than just, hey dickhead, you got hairy nipples? Something a bit more interesting, a bit more deep, something that gives a bit more from you to the chat. That's could be comedy, could be kind of educational, could be like creating ideologies that are confronting people, or it's like acting. Why can't we have more trolls that are like actors? Why can't we have trolls that are funny? Some people say, where are all the trolls that were fun? The funny trolls. Like, people love the trolls. The funny trolls. Everyone just comes on as themselves. They come on as themselves. They just be themselves. They just say what they actually think. You know, they just have normal conversations, and that's fine. That's what normal people do. But this is like, an IRC chat room is like the perfect place to be an actor or actress. If you can work out how to change IP, you change IP, change nickname, come back in, and then you can be someone completely different every day instead of being the same person. And you can say whatever you want as long as you don't get banned. So you can be a persona. And some people do it, and some people aren't very funny and they just talk shit. But some people actually make me laugh. They say some pretty funny shit. Like, it's pretty wrong shit sometimes, but it's better than just normal, boring conversations about what did you eat today, how's the weather, who did you vote for, oh, my car got a flat tire. I mean, that's normal stuff that we all talk about. But what about those trolls, those ultimate trolls that were really kind of switched on, intelligent trolls that were creative? What's happened to that kind of trolling these days? Where are these trolls, and why aren't more people realising you can do more with a chat room than just insult people under different nicks, or troll them for information, or why can't we have people that can put a bit more into trolling, a bit more intelligence into trolling, a bit more creativity, and actually really kind of not just do it for themselves, but want to give a bit more to the chat room, to kind of entertain the chat room and kind of have some fun. It's fun for the troll. Like, I find it fun if I do a little bit of trolling, that I find it's fun because I'm acting. I get to be a bit silly. I get to be a bit clever and witty. I get to kind of stir people up a little bit in a fun way. And if you don't take it too far, and if you're smart about what you say, you won't get banned. They'll let you, because people are smart enough to realise generally that you are kind of stirring at people up a bit with a bit of stupidity and a bit of creativity. So they're not going to ban you just because you're being a dickhead. But, if you kind of troll people in a good way, that's kind of trolling like the perverts. If you're trolling the perverts, all the girls will be like, hey, what a funny guy, because he's trolling all these dickheads that are privating me all the time, asking my ASL.